Here's how you can build an ad account with a low budget of $200 a day. So I get a lot of these questions of, right, so what's the ad account structure I should follow? How do I test my ads? How frequently should I be cutting and optimizing? So I'm going to walk you through how we would build out an account for a low spending brand. This somewhere around the lines of $200 a day. So you have about $6,000 a month. Obviously, it's a small budget, but the idea is this is a starting point, and the goal is for you to be able to scale this further and further. And I'll show you what the specific steps are to get it to those $1,000 days, $5,000 days, and so on. So in this video, we're going to walk through the customer research process, ad creation, the ad account structure, how to launch these tests, and then ultimately how to optimize and iterate on them. It's a process you really have to follow through every single time you are launching new ads, because the reality is it's an endless process. It's a cycle, and the moment you launch an ad, you have to go and research some more topics, find some more quotes, so on and so forth. The only thing that stays without being touched is the ad account itself, the ad account structure in itself. Otherwise, everything needs to be repeated and is an endless cycle. So we go into the customer research. I'm not going to give you the full breakdown. I'll put that into another video, but I think it is important to make light of why this is something that's important and what you're looking to pull, and maybe some of the sources you will get this information from. So the main things you want to be able to pull from your customer research are identifying their pain points, and then ultimately getting some quotes and comments that customers have left about your product or about their problem that you can ultimately use inside of your ads. So some of the places you'll be able to look for these are your own product reviews. So you can pull your CSV from whatever review platform you're using, and then put that through ChatGPT, and I'll break this down further afterwards. Your ad comments. So if you've launched any sort of ads before, you can pull directly from there and then see what people are saying about you. Well, what if you haven't run any sort of ads in the past? Well, some of the places you can look for are Reddit. Will have a ton of information about your specific industry or the niche you're in, and the product category you are in. And from there, you'll be able to pull information, search for specific Reddits that maybe people are talking about, and then from there, pull from people's experience. Quora, very similar to Reddit, just more question based. And then finally, you can go through TikTok videos. So go inside the actual TikTok platform on your phone, search for your niche, and then you'll get all of the top viewed videos about it. And then inside, you'll be able to go into the comment section. People will leave their experience either with that specific product from a competitor, or maybe they will talk about some of the issues that they're currently facing and why the product that they bought was helpful for them. And from there, you'll be able to find and discover new ways that you can promote your own product if it falls into that category. So going into the actual ad creation process, you've already gone through and done the customer research. You've identified what level of awareness these customers are in, right? Whether they're trying to solve the solution because they're aware of it, or maybe it's a problem that they're not aware of, and you're bringing it to light. So what you can do is you can find 5-10 angles for that specific stage of awareness. Then you're going to use one specific image or type of ad that you can test out for all those angles. Realistically, you don't want to be pushing video yet. It's expensive. It takes a lot of time. And at this stage in time, you're really trying to just find out what works and what doesn't. So don't get too complicated with videos. Statics work just fine. And we've had several ad accounts that have scaled several $1,000s per month, and they run solely on static images. So don't stress about video yet. You will make those videos after you find the winning angles from your static images. After that, you'll make 3 hooks per video, and you'll double down, and the process will go on. So you start off with statics, you move on to video after you have the winning static angles and concepts, and so on and so forth. Save yourself money, save yourself time. Testing statics is a much faster process. It doesn't cost you a dime. All you need is a free Canva subscription. You can make all your pieces from there. You can take your photos directly with your phone, and you can just make them from there. Don't spend money on creators just yet. You don't need it, and it's something that the ROI on it can sometimes be really positive. Sometimes it can just be a massive waste of money. So the account structure, I keep it very simple. Two campaigns. That's it. You have your testing campaign and you have your scaling campaign. We're assuming a $200 per day budget. So let's start building this out. This is a bird's eye view of what it will look like, and you will refer to this afterwards, essentially to guide you. But the way it's broken out is we have our testing campaign, which is broken out into separate ad sets in a CBO structure. So we have CBO budget. We'll be launching 2 new tests every single week. We will let it run for 7 days. So don't cut it before. Don't try to make changes to it. Don't do anything. Just let it run for 7 days and figure out what actually works. Your audience will be a broad audience where we will be excluding Klaviyo sync customer list as well as pixel purchasers with a 7-day click attribution. Okay, so that was a lot. Let's break it down inside the actual ad account. So this is a dummy ad account that I have. So we will build out a sales campaign here, and we will create it if it decides to load, and we will do a manual sales campaign. In here, we will turn off the catalog and we'll turn on Advantage campaign budget. Let's say in here, since we don't have, we have $20 per day, so, or $200 per day, let's put $100 here for now. And we will leave everything as is. You don't need to worry about campaign bid strategy. Leave it at highest volume. Everything else is good. So cool. Here, given that this dummy ad account, there is no customer list, but what you will do here is you will go inside of the advertising settings and you will connect your Klaviyo customer list that's synced directly to Klaviyo. Don't just upload a CSV file, since that will be a one and done situation and it won't update once you have your new customers come in. And then you will also connect the pixel customers of the last 180 days, which is the max amount of days that you're able to pull from. So let's go inside the actual ad set. So here we will go into the maximum number of conversions, choose your pixel, and you will go for purchase. So everything is fine, good. I used to recommend going with dynamic creative, but Meta is pulling away from this and will no longer have it running. So you can just leave it as normal ads that will be pushed. So individual ads. And then here we will go into the original audience option. So Meta will always try to push you for advantage audience. For testing, we don't care about that. We just want to use original audience. So here is where you will add your exclusion. So this is where we would add the Klaviyo customer list and the Pixel 180-day customer list. The other very important thing is once you are here, you want to go into your attribution settings and turn off view through 1-day attribution. Why? View through attributions takes the conversions that are pulled a lot of times by email campaigns. So if you ran a sale, it will likely pull from those sales to attribute it to Meta, which is not the way that you want to be able to scale your account. You want to push, especially when you're testing, you really want to get the data from how well your ad led to that direct conversion after the customer clicked on the ad and went to the website, not just an impression that was generated from the ad and then afterwards they were served an email campaign that led them to make that purchase. So keep it 7-day and then be able to optimize from that. So we have all of that set up. We have our exclusions, we have our 7-day attribution, and we are ready to start making our ads. So you'll hear a lot about making various angles and various headlines for the same static image. For the most part, I don't agree with that, in the sense that when you are at a low budget, you have $200, realistically anything under $1,000 a day, you want to take some bigger swings with your creatives. So this means change bigger and more noticeable things inside your creative test, even if it's inside the same ad set concept. So this means maybe change out the image slightly. If you are doing a product shot, maybe change out the background, maybe change out the product itself and maybe use a different photo, things that are actually noticeable beyond just one headline. The only reason I say that is you don't have a lot of money to test. You really want to take changes and make implementations that actually push the needle, and don't just make small adjustments that are noticeable maybe when you're an 8-figure brand, 9-figure brand that really has a lot more sizable differences when they make very small changes. So here you'll choose your Facebook page, then we'll go here to create ad, and then we will add an image. So I created, these are old ads that I had made when I just started the agency. So you can ignore the quality of them, but the goal here is very simple. So we will have a primary text. So we won't really go into it, but just text one. And then I like to do 2 captions per, and then here we will do headline number 1, headline number 2. Cool. And then finally, we will go and put in our website. So here I'll just put my agency website, and it should produce the actual website that it is going to, if it wanted to work in our favor. But for some reason, it's not showing up. Don't worry about it. Um, in other words, what we have here is a finalized ad. So we have this put together. You want to remember to include your URL parameters. This is kind of the way that I tend to set it up. So we go here, we put source name. Then in campaign medium, you will put the ad set name. Campaign name, just go with campaign name. Content, it's the actual ad name itself. And then you want to go into ad parameters. Here, just call it UTM underscore placement, and then here. This is mostly just to know where it came from, if it came from Instagram or Facebook, and then you click apply. So we have the first ad put together. Let's give it an actual name to make sure we have some form of consistency. So we'll call it static, and then ad number 1, and then today's date, which is 7/16. Cool. So we will duplicate this exact ad, and we will change it for another video, for another photo. In this case, we'll go here. As you see, everything stayed the same. The only thing I changed was the actual photo that's showing up inside. Let's see if it'll show. So this photo changed, everything else remained the same. And then we'll change the name here to number 2. And then last one that we will make is ad number 3. So here, there we are. Okay, so we have now 3 ads that we will test inside of this. You want to be able to launch 2 of these every single week. So in this case, let's say we would duplicate it, and we would repeat the process, changing out the ads inside here, so that you have 2 ad sets, with each one with 3 ads inside of them, and each ad has 2 texts and 2 headlines. Simple and easy to go. So we have that, the budget of 100 a day inside a CBO. So if an ad isn't performing, it's not going to take budget from it. It will only give budget to the ones that are doing well. It's a way that you can make sure you are efficient with what you are doing, and you're not spending money on, honestly, unsuccessful ads, which happens a lot when you do ABO testing. So we have all of that set up. Now let's go into the scaling campaign. The scaling campaign, much simpler, not as much nuance to it, but still very important. We will push a CBO structure or CBO budget similar to the testing campaign. I like to break down to 2 ad sets, 1 statics and 2 video, still following 7-day click attribution and still excluding customers from Klaviyo and Pixel purchases. And then the way that you'll be pulling these ads is using post IDs that are pulled from winning creative tests. What does this mean? It means that you will go into these ads. So once you ran these for 7 days, you will go here and you will click preview. You will go here and you will get a notification or a drop down that tells you Facebook posts with comments. In there, you'll be able to pull the post ID directly from the URL in order to post it inside of the ad itself. So this is what that would look like. Let's create the ASC campaign. So here it'll be the default advanced shopping campaign. We'll set this up. Everything else stays the same. So website, conversions, purchase. And then here, let's go and change it to 7-day click. Everything else is fine here. You need to do the same as in the previous and set up the existing customers. Our daily budget would be 100. And then everything else is good to go on the campaign and ad set level. So this would be for your static images. So we go here and we'll go to use existing post. And that post ID you got, you will paste it into here and you will click the check mark. It will auto populate and show here. The reason why it's important is it will have all the social proof, the comments, the likes, the shares that you were generating from your testing campaign, which will ultimately make the performance of your ad inside the scaling campaign in your ASC much higher and stronger. So it just gives the ad some validation that it's been running for a while, other people have commented, and has engagement prior to it. So we have that. Here we have our ASC campaign. And what we want to do, we're inside the campaign, we want to grab it. And let's see if it allows us. On some accounts, it'll allow you to have multiple ad sets. There we are. Nope. So it seems in this ad account, it doesn't. In some, it will. If it doesn't allow you to have a statics and video ad set, you can go directly into the go directly ahead and make 2 campaigns, one for statics and one for video for your ASC, and just split the budget between those. Realistically, since we're starting off, just focus on statics. Videos can come later. It's not a big deal. So we have that. Let's say we have been running our ads for 7 days. Let's push this up so we can make it a little bit easier. So we've been running our ads for 7 days. This is what we have to the structure I like to follow every time I need to whether scale an ad or figure out if it's working. So I ask myself these questions. Has it been 7 days since the ad launched? If the answer is no, you go into the second question. Are there any sales in that ad? If the answer is yes, you let it run until you hit those 7 days. If the answer is no, was there spend? If there wasn't, you keep letting it run until it does get spent. If it did get spent and there were no sales and it was substantial spend, really this is, did it spend as much as your target CPA? So let's say your target CPA is $50. Did it spend $50? Did it spend $100 and get no sales? Cut it. You don't want to keep wasting money on unsuccessful ad. But let's say it did run for 7 days since the ad launched. Did it get spent? If the answer is no, you keep it running. You want actual substantial data to make your decisions. If the answer was yes, did it meet the requirements for your target CPA? So if your target CPA was $25, did it hit $35 and it has maybe $100 to spend? Well, you can cut that because that's not a successful ad. You don't need to be testing ads that don't work well when you're going to keep repeating this cycle over and over again. So only focus on winners. If it did get spend and it was below the target CPA, you go ahead and increase your CBO campaign budget so that it gets more spend. Automatically, that campaign will start getting the spend because the Facebook has determined that it is a winning ad and it has gotten sales and spend. And ultimately, as you increase your CBO budget on your testing campaign, that ad set will ultimately get more and more spend to it. We have a lot of campaigns for accounts that the testing campaign has the highest budget inside the entire ad account, and the scaling campaign is maybe getting 20%, right? Sometimes you just are able to scale so well inside the testing campaign that even when you push the post IDs into scaling campaign, testing still works better. So that was the full breakdown. You're going to repeat this cycle. Once you get these scaling and winning ads, you restart the process all over again. You test new ads, find new angles, new quotes, new concepts, do this over and over and over again. As you start seeing that it works well, you can go ahead and increase that spend and scale your account by 20% every 3 to 4 days as you start seeing consistent performance from your account. So I hope that was helpful. Leave a comment below if you have any questions. And if you want to learn more, I post a lot more videos on my YouTube channel, and I also put a lot of very interesting content on my Twitter. So I'll leave all of that below. And I appreciate the time, and I'll see you guys soon. Take care.